Welcome to EnergyBody Checkup for November. This is Masami. October felt like we were all gasping for air as we went through earthquakes and aftershocks. Pressure had been building up for this entire year, this chaotic year. November is when we are finally going to be able to realign, remember, and become more of you. I'll go into it more in detail shortly. This month you will continue with your own course corrections, but in much smaller increments. I sense that the November is when we get to finally have moments of relief, a big sigh, decompression, like releasing the pressure cooker. October was like going through the stressful security checkpoint at the airport, staying on high alert and taking the steps to ensure your movements through the long line, feeling quite keyed up, but finally you have found your departure gate. And now you are at the gate sitting down and able to take some breaths. That's November. You're fully aware that your flight might still get canceled or delayed due to weather, mechanical issues, unforeseen events, but you are feeling hopeful and trusting the journey that you are on. And November feels a bit slower at times, and you might experience some kind of time warp. But during this slowdown time, you get to catch up, and then you are able to pause and notice the changes within yourself, how far you have come, how much you have been able to overcome, how much you have been able to co-create your life with the universe, and appreciate who you have become this year. And in spite of and because of the outer challenges and continuation of social, political, and economic unrest, you continue to move forward and learn more about who you are and what you are capable of. This is because you have been not only learning to ride the waves, but learning to read the waves. In order to be an effective wave rider, you have been learning to be a good wave reader. For the last several months, especially in October, you worked on breaking down and releasing the old patterns, old narratives, old limitations, old expressions, old attitudes, old relationships, old clutter, old labels, beliefs, and words like every, always, nobody, never, and nothing. You have also been letting go of old triggers, old programming, old ego patterns. You have been becoming more conscious of your unconscious and invisible fear, full sense of responsibility, and stories that don't serve you anymore. Many of you have done so much self-work this year. Unless you have been living in a cave on a deserted island, you couldn't help it but to face who you are and who you have been, and also where our world as a collective has been heading for decades. A lot of macro-level assessments and micro-level self-inquiries have required your internal energy and time. You have been asking questions like, what are my values? What am I worth? Where do I draw the line? What do I trust? What do I want to truly manifest from my heart center? And what is holding me back? All this breaking down of the old has been necessary work for you to prepare for the much needed breakthrough. You have been preparing for what is becoming of you, the future of the world, the society, and the universe through the art of emptying and releasing. But I think this is the challenging part about November. Not everyone has taken this preparatory steps and gone into the depths. And so you may notice yourself being impacted by external waves or fear of uncertainties, anxiety, chaos, isolation, and confusions. So each time you become aware of the storms, waves, or even small ripples, come back to the core of who you are. Continue to remember that you are the wave reader and that you know how to navigate these waves. And hopefully for you, the not knowing space or the liminal space has become less scary. And hopefully the uncertainty doesn't have such a strong hold on you. And it no longer brings overwhelming levels of fear and deplete your inner energy. Because it just means that it is unknown until it slowly reveals itself in due time. So let's notice how you feel more grounded within your core being right now, while standing in the midst of not knowing as you continue to cultivate your inner terrain. This is what you have been preparing for all of this year. We can't force or hasten the pupa to manifest into a butterfly. But the pupa isn't afraid of what it is becoming, and it isn't full of expectations. And it is also not regretful, disappointed, or attached to what it used to be. It only knows to be in the moment, surrendering to, yielding to the current that is pulling it to become a butterfly. You can only surrender to the unknown when you are anchored within the field of inner knowing. So if you haven't done the work around the uncertainty and unknown, please check out some of my free courses, such as Embracing the Liminal, Recognizing Your Refuge, and a paid course like A Sacred Path of Integration. All these workshops and talks I have done are designed to help you become more and more comfortable with not knowing. Now let's talk about the beauty of emptiness, because this is going to be a key theme in November. Without the emptiness, there is no space to hold the tea. It is the emptiness of the teacup that makes it possible for us to fill it with the tea and enjoy it. You could say that we don't know yang without the yin, and without darkness, we don't know light. Lao Tzu writes in Tao Te Ching as follows: 30 spokes are joined together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that allows the wheel to function. We mold clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that makes the vessel useful. We fashion wood for a house, but it is the emptiness inside that makes it livable. We work with the substantial, but the emptiness is what we use. Therefore, advantage comes from what is. Usefulness comes from what is not. So if you have done the work of emptying and releasing in the last several months, this month you are slowly getting the glimpses of your potential, possibilities, latent talents that you have been nurturing. You're beginning to see and be shown your place in the world, a role that you are meant to fulfill in your lifetime. All this is still at a very infant state, so continue to work on the old patterns and old debris as they surface. You can ask for your heart mind, gut mind, guides, intuition, cosmic energy, future self, Entelechy, and divine wisdom to help you prepare for the unknown changes that are coming. And have them guide you and prepare you to stay connected to the inner knowing, even though you have no idea what the future changes and shifts will look like. None of us really do. So a good mantra for this practice would be to repeat something like, "Prepare me now for what is unknown to me. Prepare me now for what is unknown to me." And stay curious, stay open, be the vessel that can be used to carry what is trying to unfold, which is the gift from the future. What is wanting to pour into your now emptied cup isn't some mysterious cosmic entity or some futuristic secret society only available to those who can see the future and communicate with the unseen forces. Future isn't some intangible, out-of-this-world mystery, but I see it as your true nature emanating back towards you, brighter than ever before. Future is another word for you becoming more of who you are. Future is not some scary place or a magic kingdom. It is where your fullest potential merges with your brightest inner light. Future is the place where the fullest expression of who you are and your inner light come together. And you can access it now by remembering to be more of who you are. So this month, get ready for the future that is reaching you as you reach for it by doing the following. Number 1, begin to really love who you are now. Write down what you love, adore, and appreciate about you. If you can't express self-love, you will not be able to hold the vastness of cosmic love. And take some time for self-forgiveness. And I will talk more about this during Monday with Masami. But perhaps start somewhere like this. Maybe it was you that was undermining your own work, your value, what you are worth. Perhaps it was you that was preventing you from fully becoming you. We often don't let ourselves have the full credit and acknowledge our efforts or appreciate ourselves and be proud of how far you have come. So forgiveness practice can give you a clear understanding of your own worth, your potential, and what you can grow into. So number 2 is practice surrendering. So practice surrendering by relaxing into the moment and loosening the grip. Put your hands behind your head and sit back. You have done a lot of work this year. It's okay to simply be. Simply breathe and simply love the moment for what it is. Number 3, for those of you that have done serious work on letting go, releasing and emptying in September and October, it's time to have some self-care time. So going for walks, taking baths, reading, being in nature, and taking time to do nothing. This is when you can actually tap into outside-the-box ideas and visions. Ask yourself, what nourishes me now? And let the answers guide you. This will prepare you for the upgrade and allow your teacup to hold more of the future as it pours in. And this self-care practice will continue to fill up your energy savings account that I talked about in October, and continue to harvest stillness, silence, and spaciousness. This is when you will tap into your inner knowing and your inner flow. So this next point may sound contradictory to what I just said about the importance of self-care, but it really isn't. As many of you might remember me saying in January that this year's main theme is holding paradox. and holding the tension between your spirit reaching for the heavens while your soul strives to bring heaven on earth and to come back into bodily experience. Well, this month is when you will feel these tugs within you. So on one hand, you want to create as much time as possible for self-care and for you to come back to your center, your inner knowing in the midst of chaos, even in small blocks throughout the day. And on the other hand, you want to begin reaching outside of you to bring love, joy, and light to the world around you, people around you. It's holding and balancing both me on one hand and we on the other hand. That will bring you the most flow, richness of life, and peace and contentment in your life, especially this month. When we are highly sensitive, highly intuitive, and deeply empathic, we often put up the boundaries and shield ourselves from the external stimuli and external noise. But if you have been putting some prana, your life force, into the energy bank account and doing the work of removing, releasing, and letting go of all the old ways, old patterns, old narratives, old programming, and old ego patterns I mentioned earlier, then you can begin to illuminate your beautiful light to others around you that could use your support in navigating their challenges, their grief, their losses, and their dark nights. So this is the fourth suggestion for this month. Shine your inner light outward and share your beauty with others. And pay attention to the reserves of your energy bank account. Again, this gets accumulated through stillness, silence, spaciousness, and self-care. And that's 4 S's that you might be able to easily remember this month. Again, those are stillness, silence, spaciousness, and self-care. And listen to your inner needs first as you begin to draw from the account to share your beauty, your love, and your energy to others. And the last point, number 5, remain flexible. Pay attention to your lymph flow and circulation, muscle flexibility, joint flexibility. Avoid being stagnant by sitting too long, being constipated, being dehydrated, having poor circulation in your hands and feet, ruminating on fear, regrets, or anger. This can become a breeding ground for anxiety and insomnia. We're shifting constantly, so stay flexible and create healthy flow. Let me quickly go over the 5 items for this month. 1, begin to really love who you are now. Number 2, practice surrendering. Number 3, create self-care time, stillness, silence, spaciousness, and self-care. And number 4, begin to illuminate your beautiful light to others around you that could use your support in navigating their challenges. And number 5, remain flexible. Okay, the month of November is for you to continue to get ready for the future that is reaching for you as you reach for it. Remember to be more of who you are and master the art of wave reading. Think big and feel deep. Get ready to have a large cup ready because we are all upgrading. And thank you for listening to my EnergyBody Checkup for this November. And if you're interested in finding out more about my work, please visit masamicovey.com or zenshinginstitute.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. May you have a beautiful November.